Greetings travelers. I'm at the backpacking parking lot at Loon Lake. It is 12:40. It's my first trip of the season. I had all kinds of problems getting here. I haven't been here for 25 years, so I couldn't remember exactly how to get here. All kinds of mess-ups getting out of the house. Mess-ups at the ranger station trying to get my permit. They were having computer problems. The parking lot here is good, and there are only three other cars. But that's not bad for a big parking lot. This is a good trailhead here. There's no cell service. We're way away from the cell service, but it's got an outhouse. It's got a recycle can. It's got a garbage bear safe thing, and it's got potable water. That's pretty rare at trailheads around here. And I'm very excited. I don't think I've forgotten anything. First trip of the year, lots of trepidation. Physically, I'm not ready for a backpacking trip, but I did do some work, some exercise. A little bit of climbing here and there. Just, I feel better than I did a few weeks ago. I did not gain any weight over the winter. That's good for an old guy. This trail is going to be 7 miles, but it's going to be lower altitude than I'm used to. I'm used to starting at around, close to 7,000 feet and going up to 8,000 feet or higher. That's where I like to be. Lots of birds around. It's early season though. I don't want any problems with snow or anything like that. It's supposed to be kind of muddy where I'm going, so we'll see. But the elevation max is going to be like 6,800 feet, maybe less than that. So there's not going to be a lot of climbing. It's going to be a 7-mile hike with mild ups and downs. I should be able to do that in this condition easily, I think. I will find out. Alright, I got my poles, I got my water, I got my camera, I got everything I need. I don't think I have forgotten anything. Except for it's really late. It doesn't get dark until 8:30 or so. Let's call it 8. I'm leaving at about 1. 5 hours at the most for me to go 7 flat miles. That's pretty bad. I intend to stop for a while and get my feet cold in the water some point along the way. But I figure I should be able to get there without really pushing myself. Why speculate? Let's just go and we'll find out. I am here. Very quiet here today. My 30-year-old guidebook tells me that the trail immediately goes straight uphill, gains some altitude. I haven't seen any people here, just the camp host that answered all my questions, took my money. Oh, it costs $7 to park, even for backpacking now, $8. Just $8 per trip, not per day. Haven't seen Loon Lake yet, but I know it's over there somewhere. Anyway, I'm not gonna do rambly, long video full of inconsequential BS. I just want to go. And this is the first really good view of the lake here. Trail is, as predicted, going up and down. It didn't do a steep climb at the beginning like my old guidebook said. And I'm not at all surprised. The guidebook it's definitely old, and it was talking, it was describing the lake as if the creation of the dam and the filling of the reservoir here in 1967 was a recent memory. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if this whole trail here on this side of the lake, sorry there's flies on me, has been rebuilt couple of times since then. I'm doing well. I've been out here for at least, I don't know, half an hour. And this is the first time I've stopped, and I just really stopped so I can get a picture of the lake. The trail is comfortable, and I'm feeling pretty good. The trail is kind of like this all the way. It goes up a little bit sometimes, it goes down a little bit sometimes. It's flat most of the time. And so far, I'm not feeling any muscle discomfort. All the other trailheads that tend to go straight up from the trailhead, I'm usually feeling it right away. And then I have to slow down, pace myself, all that stuff. But so far here, I started hiking and I haven't stopped. Well, I stopped to talk to that couple, but I didn't need to. First real wildflowers of the trip. And here I am, near the northern point of the lake. I can see, sure it looks like a road over there, over that steepness, angling up to the left. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going, and I'm going around that mountainous thing, so I'll be climbing for a bit. Get in there. Wind's just kicked up here. That's nice, because this is going to be a buggy trip, I'm afraid. This is not a wilderness area. I am not in the wilderness yet. In fact, the reason I've been prejudiced against this trail all these years is that me and the college buddies hiked in here, and knowing that it was 7 miles to the first Desolation Wilderness campsite, we decided that we were going to go short of that. You know, this is back in the 45, 50-pound pack days, and none of us were really strong hikers. We decided we were going to stay at Spider Lake. That was only about 5 miles away. That was going to be just about right for us for a day one. That was going to be like a 5-night trip or so. We get to Spider Lake, and I can't remember. It was one of the most heart-sinking moments backpacking. We got to Spider Lake, and there were no fewer than 20 Jeeps on the other side of the river, or the creek that the trail goes along. There were Jeeps everywhere. They were making all this noise. There was no way in the world that we could camp anywhere near there. So we had to get the hell out of there. And for a tired bunch, that was not fun. The real trail goes here, and something goes here. Let's check it out. Maybe there's this amazing campsite down there that would just be too hard for me to say no to. Okay, just a bunch of manzanita. I'm sure there's a nice campsite down there, but I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to keep going. And yes, that is the trail over there. Looks very artificial and steep. I got some steepness ahead of me. Body ain't going to like that. But in case I get past Loon Lake here and then decide that I can't make it any farther, there's still Spider Lake, Lake Winifred, Hidden Lake. I'm not sure how easy it is to get to Hidden Lake. I'm getting kind of tired, and there's some uphill here, and there's my shade is getting more and more sparse. So getting a little hot, getting a little tired, and I'm getting hungry. So I'm sitting down here doing a pack on, boot on food and water break here. I think I will do a boot off break later on, get my feet in the water. I'm gonna, after I leave the lake here, I'm gonna be following a creek all the way to Rockbound Lake, so there should be plenty of places to take a break along the way. At least that's what I think the trail is gonna do. My maps are a little confused, and some of them are old and don't know, and I'm not confident. But yeah, I'll get there one way or another. I always do, right? Every time I do. So I will. But I'm going to nibble a bit here. Getting a little chilly in the shade. Maybe I'll take the pack off, dry off a bit. Not a bad idea. Okay, I've been sitting here for 10-15 minutes. I've cooled off pretty well. I've got some good munchies. I've had a bit to drink, so I'm going to move on and see how well I do. Almost halfway. Kind of hard to tell. And it's kind of hard to tell I'm doing pretty well, but there was an uphill section back there, a short, steep uphill section that whipped me. When I got to the top of it, I was like, okay, I need a few minutes to breathe and take a break. So if this was a hard trail, I'd be in trouble right now. If this was the trail going out of Meeks Bay or Emerald Bay or Echo Lake, any of those trails, I'd be dying right now. And I would be heading for that campsite 3.5, 4 miles in. Okay, enough babble. Let's go. Road here. Oh, look at this lizard. Standing guard. You shall not pass. But I'm going to pass. And it goes up around here, and then it's going to make a right angle turn to the right and head into Desolation Wilderness. So I'm about 4 miles away from my destination. Watching these little moth things having fun with the water seeping. And I guess I am stalling. Yeah, it sure feels that way. So, see you later, little fella. I'm going to go. It's a good watch lizard. I do believe this is the only junction I'm going to be seeing here. The Pleasant Valley Campground. I guess there's a boat launch down there. Why is there no taxi? I would pay a taxi to drive across this lake and be here now. But according to my stuff, this junction is 3.7 miles from the campsite. I mean, from the trailhead. And my destination is 6.7 miles from the trailhead. So that should mean I'm more than halfway, and I have 3 miles to go. And boy, after that break, I'm just not sure how I'm feeling. By the time I get up this little hill here, I'll be exhausted and wondering why I didn't go for one of those little campsites down there. But then I'll start, then I'll catch my breath and I'll go on some flat ground and I'll feel great. So I think I'll be alright. I just have to go at the speed that I have to go. No ankle or knee issues. I guess that's pretty important. Oh, I gotta go. There's a spider crawling on my face. Yep, there is a chopper here. I'm told by Sadie here that there is a chopper landing zone down at Buck Island Lake there. This is Sadie. Hi. That's Ringo. And this is a nice little waterfall.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And the trail was getting real hard until I bumped into Sadie, who had to separate from a friend. Walked her backwards. And I've been hiking with her for about a mile, and I'm just not tired anymore. It feels so much better.
Hey.
Yes, we've made it.
Yay.
We are now in the wilderness area.
Yes.
We now have to have our wilderness permits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Mine. 6 nights.
Well, I'm here at Rockbound Lake. I made it. There were times that I thought about stopping short. Just couldn't bring myself to do it. And then just after leaving Loon Lake and starting to head towards Rockbound Lake here, I bumped into a couple of women, and they were just splitting up. One of them, they hiked the same trail I did today. One of them just wasn't feeling well, and she decided rather than commit to 5 or 6 days in the backcountry, she turned around and went back. And her friend accompanied her for a while. And they were taking a break just as I passed them, and they were just splitting up just as I got there. And Sadie is her name. And the two of us have been hiking together since it was apparent that we wanted to come to the same place. And this is her first time. She's a very experienced hiker, but she's has never soloed before. She's totally confident she can do it. She's just never done it, so to her, it's pretty helpful to have somebody else around, just because. And so we chatted the whole hike here, and it made things so much easier for me. I was struggling for a little bit there, but once we started hiking together and had a partner, chatting the whole way, I wasn't tired anymore. And the trail is pretty gentle. We got over. We were close to the apex of the day when I bumped into them, so we were going downhill most of the way. Great gal. Sadie is her name. Dog Ringo. Cute dog, but he keeps forgetting who I am. And he starts barking at me, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, you're okay." And then everything's cool. We set up down a ways, just right next to each other. But then I went on a look around for a good water spot and found the ultimate campsite. And I was like, "Sadie, get over here!" But she's okay staying where she was, and we can hang out together here when we want and go back there when she wants. But it's a lovely spot here. It's a beautiful classic campsite with a fireplace that was used recently. Big, broad, flat area, sandy. Should have no problem with my tent stakes. A little bit of grass here, some erratic boulders, enough trees for shade. I mean, it's a big open spot here, but I should be able to find shade when I want it. Water access isn't great, but it's good enough. It's May 31st, June 1st. The water is very high. You can probably see water access would be a lot nicer if the lake was a foot lower. But it's good enough, and it's better than when I was camped over with Sadie over there. So I called out. I said, "Get over here." She wasn't into it. She had already set up her tent. But I hadn't, and I wanted a magnificent campsite, so I got my magnificent campsite. I got water done mostly. It's starting to get a little buggy. What should I do? I guess I'm going to set up my tent now, and then do cleaning after I set up my tent. That makes sense. Well, this is camp. Here's all my stuff, just strewn all over the place. I'm still in the mode of I'm freaking exhausted. I need to eat and drink and do stuff. But I did look for a new water place, and I washed myself a bit, put up my tent here, and then I decided I absolutely have to sit down and eat and drink. And put on some long sleeves because the mosquitoes are coming out. Well, luckily there's a 7-mile-an-hour breeze right now, or else I think they would be all over me. There was a moment when I was setting up my tent where, the shifting wind suddenly stopped, and I was suddenly in a cloud of mosquitoes. But now I'm sitting in my chair. I was going to blow up my pad, and I decided, you know what? Sit down, eat something, drink something. So I'm doing that now. Okay. So the neighbors came and crashed the place here. I'm talking to my camera here. This dog here is really friendly, but then he forgets who I am, and then he barks at me, so he scares me sometimes. How's it going, Ringo? It's okay?
So now he's fine.
It's alright.
Yeah. Got over it.
Ooh, twilight is getting nice here.
I know. It's going to get dark pretty soon.
Oh yeah, I have to eat before it gets dark.
Well, it's not going to be that soon. I mean, we still have like...
Well, good evening, campers. It's getting close to dark. It's that time of night where you want to make sure you got your headlamp in your pocket or on your head. Nice breeze blowing around, keeping many of the mosquitoes away. I really appreciate that. This is one of the best campsites I've been at in years. It's got everything I need. Here, let's do a nice tour of the place here. It looks like there was a fire here last night, or recently. Pretty fresh charcoal in this fire pit here. well, there's a nice flat spot for my tent, a very big flat spot for my very big tent. Plenty of room over here. Lots of nice granite. Nice big rock up here. I like that. And there are, I love this. I noticed this tree, and I figured it was dangerous if you were 6'6". You could just walk right into it. But then I just completely forgot that it's perfect for hanging stuff on. So I got my handy food here. There's my food bag hanging. There are bears in the area here. I will make that higher before I go to bed. Although there's a dog camping nearby, so I'm not terribly worried about bears. And, oh, it's perfect. I mean, you can see it's late twilight here. And I'm ready to sit down because I got everything done. I just finished eating dinner. One of those small single-serving Mountain House meals, but I have so much trouble getting an appetite going that I was pleased that I wolfed it down without issue. I know I promised that I was going to be taking better care of myself on the trail. Maybe I didn't do so well on the trail, but as soon as I got here, I recognized that I wanted to drink a lot of water, and I did that. And I had to pee twice in half an hour. That's telling me that I'm hydrated, so that's good. I got enough food in me now, so I'm feeling pretty good now. I just took a Motrin because after I finished eating, I got up and I could feel all the muscles hurting. You know, I'd been sitting for 15 minutes, and that's the longest sit I've done since I got here. And so I thought, oh, I just did a meal. Let's do that Motrin now. So I'm feeling good, and I'm ready for the night. Ready to bring on the night. I'm feeling really comfortable. This is a comfy site. All evening here, actually since I got here, there are little songbirds just everywhere. Chirp, 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 chirp. See them flitting around, flying around. It's too dark and the light was bad anyway. I couldn't identify any of them, but I think there's a black phoebes flying around here. They're doing that kind of tweeting. It's nice. Sadie's and Ringo stopped by after their dinner, before my dinner, and hung out for a bit. And this is her first time out solo. And she's an experienced hiker. She'll be just fine, but she's nervous. You know, she just hasn't done it before, so she's being very careful not to damage any of her equipment or to hurt herself or anything. And I'm loving watching her go through this, because I love solo backpacking. Backpacking with people is good too, but there's something special about doing it on your own. And she's going to see that when she's done with this trip. She'll be describing all these things that she did, and while she does that, she's going to be recognizing that she did that on her own, with no help from anybody else. She handled it. I mean, she's going to handle it. She's got the equipment she needs. She's got a dog to help her scare off bears or anything, and she just needs a little confidence. That's all. And I've been telling her that the whole time, but she's really grateful to have somebody close by that she's getting along with, just in case, Initially, we camped very close together, but I found this awesome site, and I moved my stuff over here, and she decided that was more work than she wanted to do. She had already set up her tent, so she's a good distance away now. She could hear me with a shout, and I can hear the dog barking when he barks. But yes, it's a nice night. It's a very nice night. I thought there was going to be more people here. I thought there'd be more camping here, really. It's not what I expected from looking at the map, but it never is. It never is. I expected this to be much wider open with a lot more rock and a lot less dirt and fewer trees. Well, I was all worried about the first trip of the season. And I really can't believe how perfect this day went. Everything went right. I didn't forget a damn thing. Pretty good for the first trip of the season. Things went so perfectly that I even dropped my toothbrush on the dirt, and it landed on the back side with the bristles that were all wet from just being in my mouth. Straight up. Not a speck of dirt on the thing. You know, little things like that. I just had a really good day. And I even got in the tent, all situated. I mean, it takes me 10 minutes to get things to this point once I'm in the tent. And it's not even 11 o'clock yet, so that's pretty good for me. It's been a good day. I medicated myself and paced myself just right. So I'm really pleased. I think I'm going to stay up a bit and listen, maybe finish that podcast I started earlier, and hopefully sleep well. Oh, I'm going to take a melatonin. That's a new thing for me. Seems to be helping a little bit, so I'll try that tonight. See you in the morning. Well, good morning, campers. It is a beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. It's quite warm. Got out of the tent in my long johns, and I didn't need any more clothes, and I needed to really shed clothes in order to be comfortable. And now I'm sitting in the shade just because I avoid the sun whenever possible out here, because the sun will fry you, especially this time of year. I'm pretty resistant to the sun, but I got quite a bit yesterday, even though I put a little bit of sunscreen on here and there. It's that time of year, June 1st or so. Sadie came by and said goodbye, and with Ringo. And I don't think I mentioned this really amazing coincidence that we have. See that duck fly by there in the background? She asked me as we were hiking over here if I had ever hiked this trail before, and I told her not since that horrible situation 25 years ago or so where we were chased away from Spider Lake because there were 25 Jeeps running around making all kinds of noise. And she tells me that her grandfather started this Jeep operation, this Jeep Jamboree kind of thing, and has been, that's the Rubicon Trail there, famous Rubicon Trail, which the vehicle is named after the trail. And it's been, she tells me that they took a bunch of Chevrolet people out there to run the trail on these Jeeps so that they could actually know what the Jeeps really need in real world situations. But anyway, she said 25 years ago, 25 Jeeps, I was probably leading that group. That was hilarious. A weird coincidence. It was surely, I mean, it was 25 years ago. It was a massive Jeep Jamboree, and that was her grandfather's gig. And she started running, I guess they lead, you know, the pack out together. She led for the first time right about 25 years ago, she said. But she was surely there, you know, she was always out there. So that's pretty cool connection. So she's on the way to a camper flat today, or thereabouts. And still a little nervous, but she's gaining confidence. I assured her she's going to do just fine, and she really appreciated that. She believes me, I think. she knows I told her, you know how to do this. You'll be fine. And she knows that she knows how to do this. She'll be fine. Anyway, I just got my coffee going here, so I'm going to sit here and drink it and enjoy the beautiful day. It's breezy, which is nice because there are ferocious mosquitoes here, and I got one bite and it swelled to a quarter size right away. And I think another one got through my socks here, damn it. The breeze is helping keeping them at bay at least. But there was like 10, you know, waiting for me to get out of my tent, you know, just resting on the bug net. I guess that's all to report right now, except for all the lovely bird sounds out here. There are just birds everywhere, and lots of tweeting and flapping about, and I'm having a good time here. I'll check in later. was a swallow. Can you hear all that bird action? Just constant tweeting ever since dawn. So I've finished breakfast. I'm still sipping some tea or coffee and having a good lazy day. Sadie came over and got me out of my tent maybe 8:30 or something like that. She was packed up and ready to go, and I told her I wanted her to come over and say goodbye before she took off, and we had a nice little chat then. So I finished my breakfast and all the chores I need to do, and now I'm just relaxing and getting ready for later. And I'm having a simple plan today. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I feel just fine right now. Feel hydrated, and I had a Mountain House biscuits and gravy, which didn't go down easily, but I ate it all. So I wanted to do a hike up to, around the lake here and up to Rubicon Reservoir and maybe, I don't know, maybe Fox Lake. I don't know. We'll see. See how I feel. The other thing I wanted to do is make a video about my tent here, and that'll be a separate video. That's my project for when I get back from my day hike, whenever that begins. I don't even know. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to my cup of coffee and just sit and watch the bird action for a little while longer. And then I'll start hiking. But whatever it is, I'm not going to be in a big hurry. And now I see a nice shady spot with an overlook right here. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Well, here I am back on the trail. That's my campsite over there. We just completely overlooked it. As you can see, it's not visible from the trail here. Note to self, this is a place to get off the main trail to get to my camp. So, I've been awfully lazy the last few trips. I have some excuse for why the second day of my little 2-day trips has to be a lazy day of doing nothing. And damn it, I really wanted to do that again today. But I gotta get out here. I gotta travel the trails. I haven't been here for so long. I at least have to go to Rubicon Reservoir. I at least have to hike around the lake here. There are a few other people camped here. Some towards the outlet. I think I heard some this way as well. So we'll see. Got an easy day planned. I figured this is the bulk of the work. So when I feel like I'm done, I'm going to turn around and go back to camp and be happy with the work that I decided to do for the day. Remember, it's all about having fun. And it's hot. It's really hot out here. But what a gorgeous day. I haven't seen a cloud at all. By the way, I feel alright. Got very little sleep, but I forced a breakfast down me, forced myself to maintain decent hydration. Feel okay. I don't feel strong, but I feel okay. So I'll go until I don't. Just a couple 100 yards down the trail, I immediately saw all kinds of camping down here just past our furthest exploration yesterday. Big mountains, lots of snow. Raging creek that I'm going to have to cross. I don't know how hard it's going to be. We'll find out. Drops the poles again. Wow, this is a flood zone here. Looks interesting. And there's people on the other side contemplating as well. Well, we're going to have to figure this one out. Well, that was a challenging crossing. But I looked at it real close and decided that I'm probably get a little wet. My feet will get a little wet. But, you know, if I had to, I could turn around and go back to camp. And as it is, I've got 2 pairs of dry socks back at camp. And it was worth the risk. And I got a little wet crossing it, while 3 people were watching me very closely, taking notes, they said. They're doing a similar thing. They camped at Buck Island Lake, and now they're doing a similar hike to what I'm doing now. But just taking a break to get some water, change the battery in my camera, and now I'm gonna keep going. Feeling good, tired, but feeling good. I'm not doing any elevation or climbing or anything difficult, so it's pretty easy so far. All right. Okay, this is really weird. I'm hiking along the trail, and I see this on the other side of this creek. It looks like a railroad crossing. I don't know, something like that. And that's a serious road there. Well-constructed road. It just goes and goes and goes. And then I realized, oh, I must be here at the aqueduct. And sure enough, is this the most unnatural thing you've ever seen in the mountains? I mean, it's certainly one of them. There's a hole in the side of this ridge. That's a ridge. There ain't no water falling down that. That goes, that's connected to the Rubicon. Rubicon, like, what did I say, is 20 feet high or something like that, not much. And they're shifting the water to go this way for some reason. That seems to be very important to SMUD and the Sacramento water municipality, district, whatever you call it. This is Sacramento's drinking water. These lakes here, and maybe Loon Lake too, I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's weird. And from what I understand, everyone I talk to says that my poles, I must have left them up there. Everyone I talk to says that the Rubicon Reservoir is an awful place. They say you don't want to stay there. One of the rangers said that it was waist deep, and she pointed out that she was 5'3", she was a tiny, tiny girl. So it begs the question, why build a reservoir? Why build a dam for a reservoir that's only going to be 3 feet deep, 4 feet deep? That's just weird. But I'm going to go over there, see what it looks like, just because part of my goal in doing all this backpacking is to keep my body in condition and to lose a few pounds. There's some more unnatural stuff. That's a pump, I think. And I see that kind of thing out in the agricultural lands in Sacramento. Yeah, it's radio controlled something or another. And up I climb. Well, hell, I don't know. It looks nice to me. It doesn't look any worse of a reservoir than Lake Aloha. Look at the views. Some gorgeous mountains here. And I'm going to go down to the lake there and find a nice place to hang out and hopefully bathe a little bit. I'm feeling a little grubby. So, that ought to help. This is clearly a road still. It's a very significant trail going in here. But they built some rather big dams here. They built that huge aqueduct thing under this ridge. That's pretty crazy. Doing that by mule power would have been pretty tough. Alright, let's shut down, and oh, there's the spillway over there. Can you see that? Yeah. I'll just go wander around the granite over there, see what I find. Well, that's a strange bit of construction over there. I guess the that little waterway there must be where the opening to the aqueduct is, and they don't want a bunch of debris blocking it. Weird. And I'm out on the granite expanse here, on a trail that's headed towards the causeway, but I don't want to go to the causeway, I just want to go to the shore here. Yeah, but apparently you can. Whoa, there go some ducks that I can't identify. But they were afraid of me from a long way away. That's interesting. Jesus, that's ugly. God, it's hideous. I just took a double take and recoiled a bit. Somehow it reminds me of a submarine. Jeez. It does not seem like a good place to put a dam. I just don't understand. But here's a lovely little spot for me, for what I want to do here. I want to get naked. Is anybody here? Luckily, no. Actually, I can go just over here. Hear this goose shit? I don't know what this stuff is. Nice. Alright. I like Rubicon Reservoir. Maybe if you want a deep lake to swim in, this isn't it for you, but I don't want a deep lake. I want lots of granite. I want lots of exposure. I want lots of sky view. And I want great access to the water. And this place has all that stuff. At least this time of year. Beautiful. Solar power, of course. The backside is weird. Making all these strange noises. All this strange hardware. Saw a 6-inch fishy down there. Lots of camping underneath. Camping is good here. I'm definitely getting older. This climb up here, very easy, was intimidating to me. I used to do all kinds of climbing. And this time I was like, okay, firm grip of left hand, firm grip of right hand. Okay, move left hand up, firm grip left hand, firm grip right hand. So I'm being all cautious coming down this thing. Going over the top is a little scary, going backwards and you're on a perfectly vertical thing. And the outflow there at the end of that pipe suddenly went extreme and made all this water noise. Like, what the hell is going on? I'm easily frightened. I guess that happens with age. I used to be one of those immortal teens, you know. Nothing's gonna bother me. Not anymore. Okay, I'm heading back. See the best route here. I guess just walk straight up there. Well, I'm back from my hike. And it was wonderful. It was a great little day hike, and it was pretty much just what I was after. Didn't go that far, but I saw a lot, and I learned a bit for future trips. And biggest thing I learned is that Rockbound Lake is nice for camping, or at least this time of year, early in the season. There was good camping all over the place, and it was beautiful with snow-covered mountains in view all over the place. There's no snow-covered mountains in view here. I was kind of hoping that there might be, but I had a feeling that there just wasn't any high ground around. I knew these ridges here are pretty low. Whatever. But it is hot today. The hike back really sucked me dry. I didn't eat that much, didn't drink that much, and it wasn't that far. I only went 1.5 miles, or I'm not even sure. Something short, something very easy. But the exposure on the way back just whipped me. It's 102 degrees inside my tent right now. I don't know what it is out here. I got my thermometer here cooling down after being in my tent in the shade, but I suspect it's going to say something like 76, maybe 82. It's warm. Frying in the sun. So I'm quite depleted, but I'm really glad that I did that, at least. I got back here and there was flies buzzing all over me and just driving me crazy. You're much weaker, or I'm much weaker against that kind of thing when I'm really tired and lack of sleep and such. And I am really tired with a large lack of sleep, and I would like nothing more to crawl into my tent, onto my pad, and just zone out. But I can't do that because it is so hot in my tent. And there's not going to be any shade on it probably till 5 o'clock. Oh, damn. Yeah, this is really the only shady spot here. All this complaining for this wonderful trip that I'm having. I mean, this trip has just been magnificent. This campsite here has got an awful lot of good sheltering. I could hear the winds blowing all the time last night. And this morning I got up and looked at this grove of trees here. It's not that intense. It's that grove of trees beyond over there. And it's only 2 trees deep. They're tall, but they were moving and shaking and everything, like, you know, crazy. And I could barely feel a thing down here. And I look around and I see I got that wall of trees there. I got that wall of trees over there. A little bit over here, but I also have that hunk of rock there sheltering me from weather that way. And my tent is on the low ground here anyway, so everything around, you know, those rocks are higher. Where I'm standing now is higher. So it's a good little depression there, and it just wasn't that windy. I had no problem with my stove, you know, lighting it, even though it was ferociously windy everywhere else. There's this frightening wasp thing right next to me here. Not sure if I should let him be or get rid of him or walk away or what. Yeah, I'm tired. My brain is tired. I'm thinking that kind of thing. But he seems to be charging me. I better go and defend myself. Well, after a lengthy search, well, after a short walk around my camp, I found a zone where I could set up my chair and sit in the shade and zone out and just cool off for a while. Not that long, though. I'm hiding under the shade of this one tree. And the shade zone just began, so it should last a while, but it's not going to last forever. But I'll take it while I can get it. And some flies have found me here. I can ignore them. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Another mini review. Bobo's Lemon Poppyseed Oat Bar. Bought this at REI. And it's tasty. 190 calories per serving. There are 2 servings in this thing, so that's a meal's worth of food. Nice little story here. On a rainy day in 2003, Beryl Stafford and her daughter Bobo baked oat bars that soon became a Boulder, Colorado cafe favorite. This humble oat bar has since captivated loyal fans nationwide with no compromise to the original recipe, small batch process, or mother-daughter tradition. Hey, it sounds like a good story to me, and it's actually a pretty tasty thing. I mean, it looks pretty grim, but it tastes like a very hearty lemon poppy seed muffin. Very hearty, like if you mixed, you know, oats in there or something like that. Hey, it's an oat bar, so there you go. Tasty. And I really need some calories in me right now. I brought too much food because I often don't feel good after exerting myself a lot, and my appetite is weak. And my appetite's been pretty weak today, and this is going to help a lot. I might devour this whole thing, and that'll give me a good wake up, you know, I'll get moving again. Okay. It is so peaceful out here. Wind's kicking up, blowing the bugs away. I'm about ready to lie down on my cool rock again. See ya. This is it. The moment I've always been waiting for. The return of a bald eagle in my life. The sky is right over me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Woohoo! These woodpeckers have been, pair of woodpeckers have been making a lot of noise, chasing each other, sounding like squirrels. One just flew into the hole there. The other one followed. And I don't know what it's doing. Is it looking for the other bird, knowing that it's around somewhere? He looks like he's looking. There's a hole. Where did that darn cute little bird go? Where'd you go? Oh, there is a baby. Must be a baby woodpecker. Ah, how cute. Oh, it's adorable. It's that amazingly pretty time of night. The last light is gone. The sky's just kind of glowing. Birds are chirping like crazy. And there's loud revving going on down at Buck Island Lake. Occasionally it's loud enough to be kind of loud. Sometimes it's just, I can kind of hear it. But my God, why? I don't know, I guess they deserve their fun too. But it's kind of sad that Rockbound Lake isn't far enough away. I thought it would be. And it's, it's a peculiar area over here. This area is old. I mean, it's been visited by white people for a long time, like the Glen Allen area and not Glen Allen, Glen Alpine area. Seeing that, hear that revving? Jesus. Seeing that spillway today was really freaky. Just seeing this hole coming out of this ridge. And then creating a river from this hole out of a ridge. God, what a weird sight. So strange. And that big ugly dam at Rockbound at Rubicon Reservoir. And this long road. This clearly was a road. The trail that goes all the way to the, at least to the dam. I didn't go much farther than that. And it appears that the original road stopped there. I'm pretty sure at the dam. It's a heck of a dam. It's the biggest dam in Desolation. I had no idea. I had no idea it was there. I had always assumed Lake Aloha was the biggest dam in Desolation, but that's way bigger. Way bigger. A lot newer. I assume. Yeah, much newer. Beautiful evening. I'm feeling pretty pleased with myself. I'm loving my camp here. Sitting on top of this rock here, hoping to catch more breeze and blow more mosquitoes away, but I'm covered in nylon, so I don't get bothered that much. And that repellent that I use, it's very gentle, but it's effective. And I put that around my face and on my hands, and I'm pretty much safe then. Look at that beautiful tent, huh? Glad I got it mostly figured out at least. Very nearly stepped on this little guy. Very cute. Very small. What a cute little fella. Okay, on your way, buddy. It's about 10:30. Managed to get everything done and into the tent at a reasonable hour, and let's see if I can sleep. I don't know. I got everything situated better than ever. I really am pretty hopeful about the sleeping bag thing. The quilt with the anchor, keeping the wide open quilt in place. That should be interesting. I think that'll help me sleep cool. I guess there's not much else to say. I had a really good day. After my hike, I was a little run down, but I recovered and had a great evening. It was really nice, except for the occasional thundering Jeep engines, sound rumbling up the canyon. That's unfortunate, but that's life, I suppose. Anyway, coming to the end of a really good trip here so far. No hurry to get out as usual. Well, the only hurry is I want to get home before dark. That's about it, and that should be pretty easy. That means driving out of here by 5. Easy, easy. Anyway, that's it for the night. I'm just gonna mellow out here in my comfy, comfy tent. Bright, sunny day. Another perfect morning. And I got some sleep. Yay. I'm not ready to get up just yet. Almost. I hate this part. Now I have to get out. Well, it's the morning of the last day. I got my cup of coffee here. I got a decent sleep last night. I went in the tent really early. Got up at 7:30 or so, pretty early for me. But I got considerable amounts of sleep. It's really comfortable in there. I'm really liking the Nemo pad. Really liking the new quilt, especially latched in with the straps like I did last night for the first time. That worked really well. And the tent I'm falling in love with. After I set it up initially here yesterday, I have to have a sip of coffee. I was so frustrated. It took so long to get it set up. You know, it was only the 3rd time I've set it up. I only slept in it once, just on a one-night camping trip. But after I made the modifications yesterday, it should be a lot easier to set up. And living in the tent is just awesome. It's so spacious, and it is so, I feel so secure with that solid shell, this huge solid shell that will absolutely cover the net tent, the bug tent, perfectly if it should rain. I had a weird experience this morning. I got up at that moment, right in between night and morning. I didn't see any stars, but the sky certainly wasn't blue. It looked more gray. In fact, I thought I saw dense fog. I mean, I'm looking through my bug net too, so that doesn't add to clarity. And then I imagined light rain falling. Just the little noises of the tent, from me moving around and the oh, go away. And all that, and I for a moment I was gonna get up and go away, and get out and fasten down all the side stuff because I thought it was raining. It was so strange. But then I looked closely and I could see the trees more clearly, and it wasn't even foggy. It was just, I'm not sure how I got that illusion, but I saw the moon and it was clearly not cloudy. It wasn't raining. That was weird. Anyway, I'm going to be sitting here next to my tranquil lake. There's lots of birds around. There's ducks flying by close by. I've heard geese around and all manner of little songbirds and such. The bird activity here has just been great. One of the best trips for bird activity I can recall. Little noise. It's the weekend. It's the first weekend backpacking trip I've done in many years. Just because that's when the weather got good. There's people camped over there. There's people camped over there, a good distance away. I could hear them when they're getting loud, and I could hear the booming Jeep noises up until like 9 o'clock last night, maybe 8:30. Annoying, from the other lake down there. It's a mile away, but I could still hear it. Okay, that's it for now. I'll check in later. Oh, that's not the baby, is it? And his mate is over here. I'm going to get a still of that. It's the first nuisance critter I've seen on this trip, or at this campsite. He seems content doing the things that he should be doing. That's good. He's adorable. Eating dirt. That's a cute fella. Jeez, he's cute. Wow, off in the brush he goes. Whoa, what the hell? Did you see that? Did I capture that? A bird flew in. What the hell? A bird flew in right there and is now chasing him. What the hell? He's got his egg. That's what he was eating. And this bird is pissed. Oh, he's a little nest robber. Oh, poor bird. Bird is pissed. Upset. Nothing to do, I guess. The squirrel's a lot bigger. And the egg is already gone. Oh, sorry, little bird. Maybe put your nest in a tree next time. Something was very busy today. Lots of work. Me, I've just been lazing around. Well, I'm mostly packed up. It's a little bit after 11. Not really sure about my situation here. I had planned to do my usual no hurry, get out of here when I feel like it. But there's a lot of flies around here. Oh, a blessed breeze just kicked up, but there's still some flies flying around me. Yeah, I haven't stopped packing. I just want to get out of here. Don't feel good. I just don't feel like eating breakfast. But blueberry, what is it? Granola with blueberries and milk. Although I'll bring it with me, and if I find a nice spot and I get a good hunger going, I'll start munching. I got a hard part here first. I got to climb a hill in the sun. That's not going to be fun. I've eaten a little bit. I've had well, not much. I had the rest of that granola bar, and I had some jerky. So I've had something. But it's almost noon. I should have more than that before I go. But I gotta go, man. It's not feeling right. So off I go. Or in a moment at least. The last phase of packing, closing up the pack, putting the water in there, that stuff I gotta do. Alright, out of here. Well, goodbye, Rockbound Lake. Thanks for a great time. Good time indeed. So, not feeling too bad on the trail. I forgot to factor in the fact that I'm acclimated and a lot stronger than I was on the hike in. I just feel like all my pores are clogged and really dirty. I want to get cleaned. But I've got a small blister on my right big toe, and I just bent over and checked my boot, and water bottle fell out, of course, and realized that the front of the boot is too loose. Probably was when I came in, and that might have been the whole cause. I don't usually have problems with blisters. But finally I found a nice spot here where I can sit in the shade, pull out my water bottles, and then work on my boot. Now I wanted to warn people about this section here. Sadie and I, well, we came across this sign up that hill a ways. It made no sense to us at all. They closed this part of the trail and rerouted it to go down towards Buck Island Lake up to where I was, Rockbound Lake. And it's just so damn confusing the way they said it. Here on my map here, this is kind of helpful. Well, not if you can't see it. Crap, maybe I'll have to just insert it. This old map that I have here shows this old trail as an looks like either an unmaintained Jeep trail or a Jeep trail, and then this over here as an unmaintained Jeep trail. Man, it must have been hard to get a Jeep through that. But the way, okay, what it says here is, hikers, please be advised. Trail connecting Desolation Wilderness, Buck Island Lake, and Rubicon Trail has been rerouted, and the former trail decommissioned as shown in the map. The map just doesn't make any sense. It's a satellite picture. You can't see much there. There's arrows and lines, and it made no sense to me or Sadie, who's been around here a lot. To follow the new reroute, please look for the following: constructed trail features such as rock steps, rock cairns, blah blah blah, whatever. We came down this without any problem at all, and it wasn't until we turned around, we saw this sign on the ground here, and we turned around and looked up and realized that this has clearly been closed. I mean, they got a whole bunch of logs and put it across here so people wouldn't go up that way. So I got to assume this is the way to go. So I'm going to go this way, and there had better be a connector cutting off to the left pretty soon. Reroute trail, okay. God, looking at this thing, it looks like, man, it's confusing. But it does look like it goes this way for a while, and then it goes straight uphill to the left. God, I don't know, but I don't want to walk on a trail that's been closed. There's got to be a good reason for it. So I'm going to go this way and hope for the best. Hey, all right. Feeling a little better, maybe. Pretty hot and sweaty. Got a couple mosquito bites that hurt. I mean, they're vicious. These suckers are vicious here. but it's been pretty breezy most of the way and haven't seen much problems with that or with heat, which is good because I just don't feel good. Shoved a little bit of food and water down me a minute ago. I'm gonna have to do that every 20 minutes or so until I eat a meal. All right, well, let's go on and see what we have in store for me. Sadie and I gabbed an awful lot. And at one point she described this mountain to me. And I'm thinking, you know, there's no way I'm going to know a mountain that I saw today just by her description. But it worked. They call this, her family calls this Birthday Cake Mountain. And I remember looking at it and going, that's an odd looking mountain. Odd looking hill. And so I knew just what she was talking about. So, here we are. The old unmaintained road continues down to the lake. The left corner of the lake is, you can barely see it through the trees here. And I did see a lot of new construction along the way. This is obviously new here, a little trail marker here. A new post that'll have a sign one day. And so it's all good. The only thing I did not appreciate was that there was just a couple hundred yards back there, there was a confusing bit of trail, and there was a trail marker going this way and a trail marker going down to the shore. And since I was really desperate to try to find something that went to the left, I went left and went the right way. So all good here. I take it this means, well, this should mean that I'm not going to go as high as the other trail did. I think so. Other trails on the other side of that stuff over there. And it was an unpleasant trail. I mean, it was easy to follow, but it was a big, fat, rocky, chunky, unmaintained Jeep trail. This is much nicer. This is a very new trail here. Okay, I want to pull out my GPS and kind of take a look at where I am and where I am on that map, so I can kind of update my maps when I get home. Buck Island Lake, the noisiest lake out here. I'm about halfway up to the other trail. Now look at this stuff, these gigantic cairns. Interesting trail. But yeah, this is better than the other thing. It was steep for a little bit, but it's getting better now. Well, here's an interesting spot on the new trail. These 3 giant cairns here. They're not messing around with the cairns. This is cute. Shallow pool. Wow. In fact, this looks like I should just take all my clothes off and get in there. Oh, that looks comfortable. But I'm gonna keep going. I love the big cairn and figure it out on your own. Just get across this water somehow. Looks like there's plenty of ways across, but I will take the easiest one. Beautiful water. Nice waterfall. I've been seeing the Jeep road for a long time now. I keep thinking that we're just about to connect with it, but then this new trail just keeps going parallel to it. You can see that, right? It's hard in 2 dimensions. But that's clearly the Jeep trail over there. I am whipped. I am so tired. I'm not that horribly hot, thanks to the occasional significant breezes, thank God. But it's, you know, big uphill, not enough food, probably not enough sleep, but at least I got some. Okay, I'm done with the new section of trail. But I gotta tell you folks, Forest Service or whoever, the trail is pretty good, actually. Trail, it's gonna need some fixes here and there, but there was a lot good about it. Bigfoot's arrowhead. It's like a big arrowhead. Well, I'm still on the trail going over the summit. I got an uphill section here. I thought I was all done with uphill. But one more. And then I should be able to see Loon Lake pretty soon. I'm tired and feeling very weak at times. And I gobble some food and drink some water and then I feel good. As long as the trail is flat and cool. Which it has been, for the most part. Yay! Finally, I've emerged on the other side, on the other side of the ridge, to see the big, huge lake. Actually, it used to be two lakes before they put up the dam. The thing in the foreground here used to be called Pleasant Lake, and that big peninsula there divided Pleasant Lake from Loon Lake. That rock right over there, that's where Sadie and her friend were sitting when I came upon them. Oh, I hope Sadie's doing well. I hope her friend is doing well. Well, I finally found my break spot. I've been here for 10-15 minutes or so. I managed to eat a little bit. I filtered a bit more than a liter of water, drank a bunch of water, and bugs are coming back, so it's time to get going. I'm really tired. I'm really fatigued. I may not be video taping much more because I'm tired and my brain is shutting down. Okay, I gotta go. Too many bugs. Well, I'm in the parking lot of a roadside cafe on the road coming out of Loon Lake. I was in really bad shape coming off that trail. I realized that it was about 5 o'clock, 4:30, and I hadn't eaten anything today. I mean, not a meal. I had hands full of jerky and gorp and such. So I stopped at this cafe and ordered up a big, huge, sloppy, greasy burger and just started wolfing it down. And then about halfway through it, I just couldn't eat anymore. I didn't eat that much of it, but it was just too rich. My system is really messed up. I am really sleepy. I decided that I needed to just get the hell out of there and get on the road, because I'm still not to the highway yet. I still got an hour and a half at least to go, and I am so tired that I am going to be driving very carefully. The worst exit hike I've done in years. I mean, I just feel awful. But I had a great time. It was a fun trip. I probably told you enough about it all. Everything worked. I've been drinking water like crazy. I should have... I need to work harder at eating and drinking enough while I'm out there. Anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully I'll be out again real soon, and I'll be posting more. Farewell.